Hey everybody, this is Steve. Wanted to knock out a quick video here about my vegan journey, or how I got to this particular point in my health journey, as it were. So about 10 years ago, I was approaching 55 years old, and I was spending a lot of time working. I had a couple of businesses. I had an online business selling computer-related products that was generating some serious cash flow, and I was buying some real estate and apartment buildings and kind of planning ahead for my future. But one thing I didn't plan ahead on that well, at least at that time, was my health. And I was pretty healthy, actually. I got sick maybe half dozen times a year, got colds, got the flu, and considered that normal. I was putting on a little bit of weight. I wasn't fat, but I was getting pretty soft because I was basically working 10 hours a day, pretty much 6 days a week, and that was my life. My life had pretty much become a spreadsheet at that point. So, not sure exactly when, but at some point in time I decided to do a little research about health. And I started discovering different vegan YouTube stations. I remember watching some old Dan the Man McDonald videos, and then got a hold of Forks Over Knives, the groundbreaking documentary. And slowly I started to make changes in my life. It didn't really take that long for me. The hardest thing for me to give up personally was cheese. I love cheese, and it was really hard to give it up, but nowadays I don't miss it at all. I'm very focused on science. I'm very focused on peer-reviewed science case studies, and I'm not one who can fool myself easily. In other words, if I understand something, if I read a health concept, for example, and I understand it, and it makes sense, and the science backs it up, it's really not difficult for me to pass on cheese. It's not difficult for me to pass on a hamburger. I mean, once you understand the dangers that these foods, once you understand just what it is about animal products that are so unhealthful for human beings, at least for me, it was a pretty easy decision not to look back, at least, consuming animal products. The process of actually getting to be a healthy vegan, however, is another process. And I remember sometimes weeks on end just eating a lot of guacamole and salads, because that's really all I knew that there was. I remember doing a lot of juicing and making a lot of smoothies. And with the smoothies, for example, I remember being really full a lot of the times, and not full in a good way. And as far as the juicing goes, it kind of made me speedy, I guess. Part of my vegan journey has brought me to the point where I'm pretty much just consuming now whole plant-based foods. Even though I have a juicer and a blender here in the vegan van, I rarely use them anymore. I mean, let's face it, the cleanup's kind of a hassle to begin with, and even though I don't mind the process and cutting up the vegetables and everything, at least for me personally, I feel like I get more out of my food when I just eat it whole. So that's what I've been doing. Whole plant-based food seems to work for me. I'm back at my high school weight. I'm down probably about 15, 20 pounds that I was 10 years ago. I'm sleeping like a baby, even though I'm living in a camper van. Sometimes I'm on the streets, traffic, sirens, nothing. I sleep like a baby. I have energy for days. I can go out and run 10 miles at the drop of a hat. I go to the gym and I work out with guys, in their 30s. So for me, the health part of being a vegan was the original impetus for changing my lifestyle. However, as I've gone along, I've become more aware of the environmental and the animal cruelty aspects of living an animal protein-based type of lifestyle like most people do. So obviously it's horrible for the environment. Animal agriculture is destroying the atmosphere, and it's really hard for me to even talk about and think about what we're doing to our fellow creatures, what we're doing to the animals on this planet. And you know, we're taking in, when we eat an animal, we're taking in their last moments, their last seconds of life, the fear and the anger and the helplessness that those animals are feeling. That energy is being ingested into you when you eat an animal product. So in my opinion, above and beyond the demonstrated adverse health reactions that you get from animal products, there's that psychological, spiritual factor, and you know, you just can't get around it. And if you're going to be, or call yourself, a spiritual being, you know, if you're going to do yoga and meditation and stuff like that, you just are not going to make any progress unless you recognize that all creatures feel pain, all creatures feel happiness, all creatures want to live. And if you are taking a life for your life, that's not the path to, you know, to spiritual enlightenment, at least in my opinion. So anyway, my vegan journey has been interesting. I don't have to think about it anymore. It's not hard to get the number of calories I need. I eat anywhere from 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day. You don't have to worry about how much you eat on a vegan plant-based diet. You can eat as much as you want. And I always encourage people to stuff themselves. You're not going to get fat eating potatoes. You're not going to get fat eating beans. You're not going to get fat eating rice. So, you know, carb the fuck up already. Our body runs on carbs. We need carbs to function. And yeah, anyway, that's pretty much my vegan journey. It's always evolving. I'm always learning new and interesting things. My basic lifestyle at this point, I guess, is what would be called a raw till 4 type of diet, type of lifestyle. Mornings, I pretty much eat just fruit. In cold weather, I'll have oatmeal. Afternoons, I'll have salads, maybe some garbanzo beans thrown in there, and my evening meal is my big meal of the day, and that's my rice and my lentils and my potatoes and my heavy carbs. 2,500 to 3,000 calories a day, like I said, and I can't gain a pound. Anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this. If you have any questions, I know transitioning sometimes can be difficult for people, but think about the animals, think about your health, think about the planet. Eating out, you should never have a problem. There's always going to be salads. There's always going to be fruit. There'll always be pasta somewhere. You know, just decline the butter and the heavy sauces and all that, and you'll be fine. And I hope to do a video at some point here about actually eating out in restaurants and how it's really not that big of a deal. But anyway, that's it for now. 10 years vegan, going strong. Still learning, and continuing education is where it's at. Sure appreciate you watching, and have a great day. Over and out. This is Steve.